Well, good evening, Bitcoiners. It is me, Brian, the UK Bitcoin Master, back on the UK Bitcoin Master channel. My first live stream since getting the channel back. As you can appreciate, I'm massively excited by that. It's 6 p.m, 1800 hours here in the UK on the 15th of June, 2020. And as always, people, thanks for being here. As always, have a strong Bitcoin hand. That is the name of the game on this channel. As always, please like this video, share it, subscribe to the channel, bash the bell button so that you get notified when I go live. That's really important. Tweet it out. Follow me on Twitter at UK Bitcoin Master. All the other platforms I'm on also at UK Bitcoin Master. Finally, haven't said this for a while, 3 steps. Step 1, accumulate some Satoshis, buy some Bitcoin. Step 2, get it straight off an exchange onto a hardware device. I use Trezor, love it. Other people like Ledger or KeepKey or whatever. There's a load of bump out there about you shouldn't use this, you shouldn't use that. This is rubbish, that is rubbish. I like the Trezor. And thirdly, get on with life and stop looking at the price, because as we'll look in a minute, if you look at the price, you're going to go brain dead. So that said, a quick look at the chat. Now, yesterday, I broke my glasses. So the glasses that I'm wearing might look pretty okay, but they're old, they're out of focus, and everything I'm looking at is out of focus. So if you've ever heard the story of the swan looking graceful on the surface, but pedaling like mad under the water, that's going to be me this evening, because I'm going to really have to struggle to look at text. So here we go, over to the chat. Rocky Palumbo's in the house. Zaza is with us. Zaza, I wore your mask today, and I've got to tell you about that in a second. JC Bothas, Satoshi, Elaine, Mrs. UK Bitcoin, or Mrs. UK, Buffy W's in. Who else have we? If I haven't shouted your name out and you want it shouted out, type at UK Bitcoin Master before you say anything. John Stramitas is in. Great to have you with us, Malibu John. So I'm going to do the show here a little bit blind, because these glasses really are old, probably 4 years old, and I tell you what, I'm really struggling, and the only way I can get any clear vision is to look right up and look along this bottom rim. So if you see me looking up like that, forgive me, that is why. Barefoot Barry is in from New Zealand. Now, Barry, what time is that for you in New Zealand? Is that about 11 hours? Is that 5 a.m., Barry? If it is 5 a.m, what the flipping heck are you doing awake, my good man? It's the middle of the night. There you go. So if you want my attention, peeps, please type in UK Bitcoin Master before you type anything, and I will see it. I'm really struggling to see what you guys are saying over there in the chat. I will do my best. I can see you all chatting, but nobody's highlighting my name apart from my lovely daughter, Buffy. Thank you, darling. So on with the show. You can see there the disclaimer. You should have read that by now, so let's get rid of it. A quick shout out for my websites that are back as they were before. 5 a.m, Barry. I spotted that one. Crikey. I don't know whether you got daylight there, but that's the middle of the night for me. UKBitcoinmaster.com. That is where all the videos are housed once more. And Bitcoin Interviews is where you will find all the interviews that I've done to date. Rocky, if you can modulate, or Elaine, Satoshi said something and it's blocked it for now, so if you guys can check that out, I'd really appreciate it. Allow it or hide it, great. So do check out those. Once the show has processed, obviously I'll put the boxes at the ends that will take you to these. And finally, for anyone that wants to drop a few Satoshis, you don't have to. There's the tippin.me address where you can drop a couple of Satoshis if you want to leave a tip. But again, you don't have to. The only thing I would ask is, get this message out on social media, tweet the link to this video out so that we can get more eyeballs and we can get more subs. That would be really, really good. So on with the show. It's going to have a slight twist today because of something I'm going to share with you, but doesn't really matter, but there would be a slight twist in the show. So the first thing I would like to do, if I can, is get over to the desktop. There we go. Yep, you can see the price is not doing very much at all. It is going sideways, but that is no different to what happened after the last halving. You've got the whales that want to pump and dump to scare people out of their positions. We've seen a few of these BART charts, I think you call them, where it shoots down and up, or up then down. No, up, across, sideways, then down. That's called a BART. I didn't know that till a couple of weeks ago, so even I've learned something about what a BART is. I saw somebody mention it on a tweet and thought, what the heck is a BART? But in common sense, it is a green candle up, then sideways movement, then a red candle down, which is clearly manipulation. Now, if I just pop up this chart that you've seen a million times before, you can see the market is massively volatile. And if you're new to this or you're watching this in the future, what you've got to do is tune out of this, because this is a couple of days. And what you've got to do is tune into this. So you can see there, this is from inception of Bitcoin over on the left, right up to present day on the right. So you can clearly see, if you think that is volatile on the day chart, where it goes up or down $500, you can see that it could technically go down 2,000 or 3,000. And we're still above the last bottom, but I don't think that's going to happen. No financial advice, no predictions. That's not what I do here. The point I'm making is, when you zoom out like this, you don't get so freaked out by what's going on. If you zoom in and look at the charts like this, it's like, oh no, another crash. What's going on? Is Bitcoin dead again? No, it isn't. So if that's how you feel, you're an 80%er, and you need to get in the 20%er mentality, that we don't look at the day-to-day charts. Now, you can obviously, if you're a trader, or you're particularly interested in it, and you're bullish and you understand where Bitcoin's going. But for a new person seeing that, it's going to freak and right out completely. So price to me makes no difference really. Sorry peeps, I'm going to do my best not to try and pick up anything in the chat, because it just looks like a load of blurred mess unless I start doing that, which is really weird to you all. So I have found a few articles to have a gander at. Let's have a look. Here's one. Bitcoin bears be warned. Grayscale's trust is hungry for Bitcoin. Now, in terms of a bullish sign or bullish signs, doesn't come any more bullish than something like this. Now, we already know that if I scroll down that, there's big players in the space already, but you've got Grayscale here, or GBTC as it's known. I think it's Barry Silbert is behind it. I don't even know who the dude is. I've just heard his name mentioned loads and loads and loads of times. But they're into this Bitcoin, and they're doing their best to mop up as much as they can. And I highlighted something here. It says, despite the digital currency's recent volatility, GBTC Bitcoin Trust has been buying the digital coin at record pace. Record pace. Now, if you look back over my shows, if you look back over like Bitcoin Meisters shows, etc., you'll see that we keep talking about, you get a situation where once one big player jumps into the space, the others don't necessarily pile in behind, but they start to watch. And when they think, whoa, perhaps we might miss out here, that's when the big players can start to FOMO in, and you can see massive price is going upwards. So really important that, with articles like this, there is something at some point gonna have to happen, because these aren't articles saying, oh, Grayscale selling all of its Bitcoin, it doesn't want it anymore. It is Grayscale are in, they are buying every bit of Bitcoin they can. And in fact, as it says here, Grayscale, investment vehicle, which is Bitcoin assets under management, blah, 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 it says it held more than 300,000 BTC. The trust has purchased 19,000 Bitcoins since the halving. Bitcoin's price has since rebounded to produce some of the best returns of all major assets in 2020. And then it goes on. The point of me showing the article to you all is we are all in the right place at the right time. Now, you can either sit on the fence and just be a spectator in this, or you can get into the game now. No financial advice, that's your call, okay? And you can ride this roller coaster of a ride that we're going to enjoy to the moon. Elaine, if you can just moderate the chat for me, and if anybody joins that I haven't seen, I love to give a shout out to the people coming into the chat. So if they do, highlight it in orange and let me see it, and I'll give them a shout out live. So there's one crackingly positive article. Here's another. While Lebanon protests central banks, this is the next bit. JP Morgan gets behind Bitcoin. When I got into Bitcoin, JP Morgan's CEO or whatever he is, Jamie Dimon, was slagging Bitcoin off. He made public if any of his employees bought Bitcoin, they would be sacked or terminated. What a turnaround in just 2 to 3 years. You know, all of a sudden, as economic collapse hurts Lebanon's currency to the point of protest, JP Morgan has come out in surprising support for Bitcoin's longevity. I think if I scroll down, I did highlight something. You should go in and read these yourself, people. Here we go. Right, what did I find? It says, crikey, I've got a job to see that. From adversary to advocate. Despite the global economic catastrophe, Bitcoin is doing surprisingly well. We know that. Now fully recovered from its mid-March crash, which crashed the price by 40%. Even JP Morgan, one of Bitcoin's oldest adversaries, is beginning to change his attitude towards the asset. Per a report from the bank, bouncing back from its cataclysmic crash in March, bestowed Bitcoin with longevity as an asset class. People, if you are not reading the signs here, now I know I'm preaching to the converted on this show. I know that. I guess I'm talking to those that are looking at this for the first time, or just thinking of getting some Bitcoin, or are watching it in the future. You want to be getting some, and you want to be getting some now. Now, you might be watching this in a few years and the price has gone up and you think, I might have bought it at 9,000, but I'm not buying it at 35,000. That's just an example. Here's the thing. If Bitcoin is 100,000, would you care if you paid 9 or 35 for it? Now, of course, you'd rather have 9 because you get more BTC, excuse me, for your money. But the point is, if it goes to 100K, are you going to be glad that you purchased some at 35K? That is just an example, people. Chunkadunk, I just saw you out of the corner of my eye. Welcome to the show, my man. You will now be getting an email with regards to Saturday's 21 million club Zoom meetup, so look out for that. So the point here, people, is these are bullish for Bitcoin, and I can keep saying this on my channel, on my shows. But what you don't want to do is keep going, oh, that's exciting, I might have to get some. You want to be getting some now. No financial advice. Just get in the rabbit hole, do your research, watch these shows and think, I can't really miss out on this. I need to be dollar cost averaging, and I need to be doing that right now. Okay, here's an article I found. I haven't delved into it. Like I'm saying, I busted my glasses and I can't see very well, and that was yesterday, and I've been freaking out trying to wonder what the hell I can do. But I did find this one and I thought it worth mentioning. You know, we all know how Twitter likes to slam on Coinbase, and obviously they're doing stuff that the crypto world doesn't like. I get that. I respect that. Here's the thing. It is also a very easy platform to use to on-ramp. if you are not trying to, this is my opinion, IMO, okay? If you're not trying to hide your crypto portfolio from your tax advisors and you're out there willing to pay your taxes, you know, what really have you got to hide apart from your privacy? And I get that. And from what I can gather, staying neutral here, no arguments either side, if Coinbase didn't do this, somebody else was going to do it. But what this article is saying is, you know, the way that crypto Twitter was slamming Coinbase, everyone was expecting a mass exodus, and it doesn't appear to be happening. So, you know, I had a few people reach out to me and give me some other on-ramps from the UK. CoinFloor was one, WireX was another. I looked at both of them, and some of the reviews weren't particularly good, I have to say, and it sort of freaked me out. And I thought, okay, so Coinbase are doing something controversial, but I want to know that when I put my money in there for my bank, it's there. When I get my Bitcoin, it's there. And when I move it, it moves. And one of the reviews I read was somebody had put, I think it was $3,000, and their money was not there and it had gone, and nobody, the customer service on one of them was horrendous, etc. So each to their own, people, each to their own. For me, with the research I've done, I'm going to use Coinbase. It's no good DMing me and saying use this, use that. I'm going to use Coinbase for my DCAing, okay? You use something else if you want. I respect your decision, respect mine. The point I'm making here is the mass exodus does not appear to be taking place, is all I'm saying. Read the article yourself. More bullish news for Bitcoin. Wilshire Phoenix requests approval of a BTC-based fund. Now, as you can see there, the investment firm Wilshire Phoenix has filed a document with the SEC for approval of a Bitcoin-based trust, whilst Wilshire Phoenix proposed a custodian fee of 0.9%, which is compared to Grayscale's significantly lower. Now, the point is, these are two big players in the space, okay? So there's two. There's going to be more. Okay, just another bullish sign that you've now got another big player jumping into the Bitcoin space. Now, these people, they want to hold your coins and they want to do stuff with them. Whilst I'm, showing this article, I'm saying buy your own Bitcoin. Don't leave it with a custodian. Don't get them to play around and give you interest. Okay, just buy it, get it off of an exchange straight onto a hardware device of your choice, and then just do nothing and get on with life. I nearly went ahead of myself then, and I don't want to do that. Just another bullish sign. Final one here. Whoa, hello. Some of you have probably seen this. Investor loses. They want to learn to spell. That should be LOSES. Hey, not complaining, but you want to learn to spell, people. Investor loses his entire Bitcoin savings in a hardware phishing scam. Now, you can read this article yourself. It's been on Twitter. I did see something out there earlier today that was saying, I think it was from Matt Odell, that said something around be careful when you are giving your crypto to somebody that's lost theirs, because something to do with the fee, the amount, 3 Satoshis, I believe it was, for this hack. I think Matt Odell was saying it doesn't seem quite right. Now, I'm not saying he did or he didn't, or he moved it himself and he's after more Bitcoin. I'm not saying that. So why am I showing you this? Because here's why. If I scroll up, he said, I quote, I had all of my Bitcoin stolen from me in a hardware phishing scam. So 2 points here. Firstly, be absolutely mindful. Rocky taught me this, and I'm just crazy anal retentive over it, and that is don't open emails and then click on a link to go to, say, a Trezor to do an update. Don't do any of that. go to, in my opinion, my for me personally, sorry, Trezor.io. I've bookmarked it every time so that I open it from that bookmark. I never click and go to do a firmware update from an email. Please don't do it, people. These phishing scams are getting more and more and worse, and there's going to be more as the price goes up and it starts, adoption starts coming. Please, I don't want to hear of any more horror stories. So let's just assume that this particular individual did lose his Bitcoin. What I want to know is how come in a day or so of this guy posting this on Twitter, he's got, I think, something like 0.7 of a Bitcoin back already, close to 1. And yet I've been tirelessly banging on about this really lovely gentleman, a pastor of the church for 16 years, who lost 14 Bitcoin to a scammer. When you read his story, as I encourage you to do, what you get is a really genuine man. Rocky and I and Bitcoin to the Moon and a few others have been banging on our soapbox for close to a year now about this lovely guy that served his country, that served the church, that has taken in disadvantaged children and brought them up as his own for many, 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 many years. And we, after a year, have got him, if I click on this one, there's a transaction ID, but we've got him 27 donations and 0.15 of a Bitcoin back in close to a year, when this other dude on Twitter goes and gets 0.7 back in a day or so. Now, I get maybe the reach of my channel isn't big enough, but I can't do it alone. I need you guys that are regulars to do something to try and help spread that word, because, forgive me, Phil is absolutely grateful for every single donation he receives. He's the most humble guy, but it's me talking now. I'm struggling with 0.1 of a Bitcoin in nearly a year, when this dude out there who had 12, Phil had 14.2, has got close to 1 back in a day or two. So what can we do together, guys, as a collective, the UK Bitcoin Master family, if you want to use that phrase that's been coined by a few of you that are my regulars? What can we do to help Pastor Phil? Crikey, I'd even be glad of 0.7 Bitcoin for Phil over the next 12 months, where this guy got it in a couple of days. Now, I know it's due to reach, but how can we as a collective get that reach out there, spread it far and wide, so that we can get Phil even one of his Bitcoin back in a year? That's my mission. Are you guys going to help me? Are you guys going to do something to help spread our reach? Just think outside the box, people. Think laterally. What can we all do to get this one spread far and wide? Because I don't know who this other guy is. Apparently he's a podcaster, and I'm not knocking his claim that he's lost it. And if he has, I feel sick to the pit of my stomach for him. Yeah? But I feel very sick to the pit of my stomach for Pastor Phil, okay, who we've been working tirelessly to try and get him even one of his Bitcoin back, and we're currently at 0.15. Just take that on board. How can you help me to make a difference in Pastor Phil's life is all I'm asking, people. No more, no less. So where were we? Quick shout out for Dan. Dan, I think I saw Dan just learn Bitcoin in the chat. People, Dan's not been very well, bless him. So we all need to give a shout out for Dan. He's been in the wars a little bit. Dan, we're rooting for you. I don't just say that in an email to you, mate, as I said earlier today. I really genuinely mean it. From here, dude, I'm rooting for you, your health to get back to normal. So, Dan, keep working on it. Stay positive, my man. Just learn Bitcoin.com. Dan's the CEO there. He's down in Mexico. Check him out if you're watching this in the future or you're pretty new to Bitcoin, because they've got everything over there you could want, from wallet setup and backup, long-term storage solution, end-of-life planning. Oh, crikey. Questions about mining. You can even get a vanity address set up if you want that's unique to you. Maybe you are new and you've sent some of your Bitcoin to a wrong chain and you want to know if there's a way you can get it back. And there might be a way, because in the chat is my friend and the great Bitcoiner Rocky Palumbo. And Rocky Palumbo is responsible for pretty well most of all the things that have gone wrong in Bitcoin and people have got it back, or airdrop or fork claiming. Rocky's sort of a bit behind that, and he works with Dan at Just Learn Bitcoin. So, you know, it is worth heading over there. Not only that, very, very quickly, if I may, they got some wicked merch. I love my BTC bracelets. I wear them all the time. And I've got to tell you this, people. I'll leave it on this one for a moment. I had to go out today to take my glasses packaged up to the post office to send them off to where they were made, because we've moved away and it's too far to drive in the car. And me, I always like to go out and see if I can't promote Bitcoin. So I've got my Bitcoin t-shirt on. Ask me about Bitcoin. I wore my mask that Zaza did for me. Zaza, I had my mask on as well. I had my bracelet on too. So I walk up to the window when it's my turn, and you know, I keep saying this on my channel, I go out into town and nobody asks me about Bitcoin. Well, today is different, because I went up to the counter and the young guy behind said, we're a Bitcoin fan, are we? To which I replied, I'm not only a Bitcoin fan, I am a Bitcoin investor and I am a Bitcoin educator. Here's my business card. Check out my Bitcoin site. Maybe he's even in the chat but not commenting. I don't know. But he did say he would check it out. And, you know, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. How do you walk a journey of 1,000 miles? One step at a time. How do we create mass adoption? One person at a time. That's all we got to do. So I came back massively excited that dude had noticed it all and said, a Bitcoin fan, are we? So I just wanted to shout out, because I've got my bracelet on and my t-shirt and I put my mask on for that very reason. And finally, if I can quickly, whoops, we've now got a bit of a freeze on the screen. I was going to say Dan's got a great merch site. Hang on tight, here we go. That's my rubbish internet upload speed. But yeah, for the newbie, a load of merch over there. I think you call it swag in the US. If you want to, get something to wear like I do. I've had mine branded by a company here in London because they've got all the masters for me. But Dan's got some great stuff over there. So seriously, well worth checking out. Right, so let's get into some tweets as the show starts to wind its way down. I'm finding some good stuff out there currently by Bitcoin OG Jimmy Song. He's been around a long time in Bitcoin. Monetary oppression is subtle, simple, effective and difficult to combat. Monetary oppression is the beachhead from which oppression of every other type launches. It's offensive. Take out the base and all oppression starts to crumble. Bitcoin is systemic change. Get that? You can get rid of oppression by silently protesting, by buying and holding Bitcoin and taking it in payment wherever you can. We are the early adopters. Rocky, let's see that mask. I'm sorry, man, it's not in here. If Elaine's watching and she wants to go into my bedroom and grab the mask and hand it to me, I'll show you it all. Right, so hang on a second. That's thrown me. Rocky, you're always throwing me off my stride. Okay, so I thought that was a really good tweet. Federico Ulfo. Okay. Imagine when the world discovers that we can protest the economic injustice buying Bitcoin. How can you stop a peaceful global protest? Love it. Here's the mask, peeps, from the great Zaza. Look. Don't you just love that? Zaza, thank you. Look, people. Doesn't that match my branding? You need to go to Zaza's site, bigvisioncustoms.com, and check out what he's got over there as well. Great stuff. Zaza, thank you. Okay, some more tweets. Grey Wolf. Oh, crikey, did I cover the other tweet with you all? Yeah, I did cover that one. Sorry, peeps. Right. Imagine, Grey Wolf, imagine thinking it's too late to get into Bitcoin when its market cap is 170 billion. Not sure what it is at the moment. Might be down from that. But the idea is, let's say around 100, 150 billion. Imagine thinking it's too late to get into Bitcoin when its market cap is what it is right now. That is peanuts, people, in today's world. You've got to get this. That is peanuts. You know, when we hit $1 trillion and Bitcoin is 50,000 a coin, dollars, because that will be what it is when we go to $1 trillion, I believe that Bitcoin can go past 5, 10, 15, 20 trillion over time. Okay, so you'll want to be getting some. JC, aka the man in the Bitcoin mask. Get in there. Love it, my man. Yeah, so I love that mask, Zaza, and I wear that whenever I go out. You asked Elaine. I don't need the mask. I don't go out because I think I should wear the mask. I go out because I want to promote Bitcoin. That's what I do it for. Yeah? Because I'm always promoting it. Somebody comes to the front door. I want to ask them if they've heard of Bitcoin, etc. A girl gone crypto, I think that says. Life is not... JC, I think one of the tweets I've covered, you sent me. So whichever one it is, thank you, man. I appreciate it. So I can't remember which one. Life is not measured by the number of sats we stack. In fact, this should... Yeah, JC, I think you said you should change life to wealth. I think that was right. So wealth is not measured by the number of sats we stack, but by the amount that actually make it into our hardware wallets. That is what this show's about, people. Get it off an exchange onto a hardware device. And then just get on with life and stop watching them flipping candles, because you will go brain dead. Do you know what? The other day when we had a massive drop down, it might have been last week, I think it went down nearly $1,000. I just shouted, I've got my office here, Elaine's got her office behind me. I just shouted through to Elaine, our Bitcoin's down $900. And she said, really? That was it? It wasn't, oh no! It's down. Guess what? The Bart hat, upside down, it came back up again. It always does. So people, I saw something on Twitter today where somebody says, I'm bored with this 9,000. Can we not go through 10,000 yet? Those stacking Satoshis don't want that to happen. So that dude ain't got the plot yet. It's coming. Trust me, people. And when it does come, you'll wish you'd have got more Satoshis. And then there's an old saying my old mum used to teach me. And she said, son, there's no good crying over spilt milk. It's no good crying that you wish you'd have got more when Bitcoin just goes parabolic upwards, as there's every chance it could do from any time from today right through to maybe 12, 18 months or even 2 years from now. Heidi Blockchain Chick, I tend to use her a lot. She tweets some good stuff. If you aren't taking advantage of these blatant BART drops, remember a BART, if you're new, is a shoot up green candle, sideways motion, red candle down. That's a pump and a dump, okay? If you're not taking advantage of these blatant drops by these whales that are manipulating this, you aren't playing the game correctly. I mean, what the heck are you waiting for? Enough said really there. And then this one from Jimmy Song again. That which can be seized will depend on who has the bigger guns. Land, gold, physical property can all be seized. That which doesn't will not. Bitcoin, ideas, beliefs, they can't be seized. Ideas can't be taken from you. Your beliefs can't be taken from you. Bitcoin can't be taken from you apart from phishing attacks. Be aware of that one. Understand this to realize just how important Bitcoin is. I am not doing these shows just to be some kind of fruitcake at the other end, which I am, mad, full of energy, as Elaine calls me. I'm doing it because I want to play my part in helping the world change, taking away control from the fraudulent banks, governments, cartels, cabals, whatever you want to call them, different names here than we got in the UK, that manipulate and keep 99% of the world poor. I want to play my fractional part in making that change. What are you doing to help with that change? Because I've got belief, I've got ideas, and I've got Bitcoin. What about you? Let's wrap it up with a quote. You know me in quotes. I love this one. A mistake that makes you humble is better than an achievement that makes you arrogant. Here's how I've lived my life. One of my mantras is, I will never say, I told you so. All I will do is put it out there, and some will, some won't. So what? Next. That's the 4SW. Some will, some won't. So what? Someone else is waiting. Sorry. Next. So if somebody doesn't want to listen to me when I'm talking to them about Bitcoin, I'm next. I'm gone to someone else. It's as simple as that. So be humble, people. You know, when you're talking to people about Bitcoin, have empathy. Put yourself in their shoes and remember that there's so much scamming out there in the world that people are cautious. They want you to help them past that cynicism, skepticism. They want to believe, but they need you to be very, very humble in your approach and not arrogant with it all. And if I'm honest, I see way too much arrogance out there, and you're not going to find that from me, that's for sure. So there we are. That is my first Bitcoin show back as UK Bitcoin Master. I hope you enjoyed tonight's show. I'll be back on Thursday, as always now, excuse me, with my regular Bitcoin live. I've rebranded from the Bitcoin for Beginners show to the UK Bitcoin Master live show. Okay, so come and join me on Thursday. Please, if you haven't, subscribe to UK Bitcoiner, or if you have, stay subscribed, because then I've got that backup channel. And I can't say this channel might not ever get taken down again. I have analysed why they could have taken my channel down, and I can only see, I put a video up ready to go live, and they took that video down, and an hour later the channel was gone. And there was a word in there that said rise. And I was wondering if the algorithm picked it up as rise up. You know, I don't know. I've looked at every which way but loose, so that might have been taken down. So I might inadvertently put something again in my show notes ready to go live, or on my thumbnail, and they might go and take it down again. And if they do, you know that I'll instantly go live again over at UK Bitcoiner. So keep that one current. Go in and check what's going on. Maybe nothing, but keep it there, so that if that does happen, then we've got another channel and we have got continuity. Now, if you are listening to this on the podcast on anchor.fm, then the continuity's been uninterrupted for you. It's as simple as that, because wherever they've been live streamed, they simply go up to the podcast platform. At the end, in a minute, I'm going to put up all my social media platforms. So if you want to follow me on any of them, library.tv I'm on. This goes up to DTube. It goes on to BitChute. And BitChute, UK Bitcoin Master, again, has got every single video I've ever done. Now, if this channel went down, I can't go live stream to BitChute. I can only upload, which is why the UK Bitcoiner backup channel is going to be so important going forward if this thing ever goes down again. So that is it, peeps. I am out of here. Whatever you're doing, thank you again for your support. Please like it, share it, tweet it out. Think what you can do on an individual level to help us get Pastor Phil some momentum on getting his Bitcoin back. I think, after what I shared with you earlier, we all ought to make a bit of a big old effort to make that happen for Phil. And I'm hoping you'll get behind me on that. I'm really looking forward to our second 21 million club Zoom call on Saturday evening. For those of you that are joining us, get in on time if you can. I'm a bit of a stickler for time. I know people have got lives and stuff. If any of you watching this want to be part of that, number one criteria, you got to be a regular and support this channel. Number two, you got to be a Bitcoin only person or Bitcoin. That's all we talk about on there. We're going to share some great ideas on there that you won't see on live streams. We've got some exciting stuff coming up for Saturday. Reach out to me in my email in the notes below if you want to be considered for part of that 21 million club. Please don't invite all your friends to come in. It's not that. It is a by invitation only when I see people supporting this channel. So that is it for now, peeps. I'm out of here. Click on the squares when they come up. Check out the social media site that I'm just about to put up. And I will be back, God willing, on Thursday, 6 p.m. UK time with my regular Bitcoin show on this channel, UK Bitcoin Master. Cheers, everyone. See you Thursday.